I ask for the truth on behalf of Julie D. Porter concerning relationship issues. I ask for guidance and insight in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And we cut the cards there for you, Julie, and we'll just place them to the side here. I'm going to deal out 3 cards. The first card we deal, the first time we deal, is in the position of, I suppose you could call it, the position of the recent past. This is a period of time between now and roughly, say, this time last month. I usually refer to a moon phase, about a month. The next card we deal, of course, is in the present. So it's past, present, future. So the next card naturally is the future, the immediate future. I suppose really it's a bit like the recent past, isn't it? In the sense of the recent past is a month behind, a moonth behind, or a moon phase behind, and the immediate future is a moon phase ahead. So you could view it like that, couldn't you? Let's see what the first card is. Let's reveal that first card. We'll just pull it out here. This, I suppose, is establishing your relationship situation, or the lack of it, or whatever that may be, of course. It relates to that based upon what was going on between now and this time last month, what energies were vibrating then. And we just flip the card nice and slowly there, not to reveal its energy too quickly, just nice and steadily. And notice there we have the we've got swords. Swords is to do with the element of air, isn't it? It's to do with the element of air. I suppose you could say creative and transmissive powers, couldn't you? Creative and transmissive powers. I've lost my bloody reading glasses. Creative and transmissive powers in the sense of communication. Because air, I suppose it flows like air, doesn't it? The element of air. In this particular case, of course, each card, each element is given a number, and the number of this card is, of course, the 6 of Swords. Any number between 4 and 9 is related to the element of water. So I suppose you could say it's the watery part of air, isn't it? In that sense, I suppose. And this lends itself to that sort of idea, doesn't it? How does it relate to the recent past? Well, Crowley refers to the 6 of Swords as the Lord of Science. The Lord of Science. And I suppose really 6, the number 6, is related to analysis. So analysis of creative and transmissive powers, or analysis of knowledge. Yes, I suppose that would work, wouldn't it? The science side of it would. Of course, in the crow's magic depiction of it, Londa Marks refers to it as the High Priestess Londa Marks. She refers to it as, in a sense, to navigate or to try and seek progress in a situation, which is science, isn't it? The Lord of Science. So that would be that would tally up with the Crowley version of it. Let's of course see what the next card is that relates to the present. This of course, well, I can't think where those bloody reading glasses have gone. 2 pairs of bloody reading glasses. Good job I got one on my face, isn't it? Let's see what the present holds. From a relationship point of view, of course, we can interpret this this Six of Swords as more of a case where you've been trying, I suppose, as the layman's terminology for it. You've either been trying to maintain a relationship that you're in, or you've been trying to find somebody. I don't know what your relationship situation is. I'm not a mind reader. It's good, but not that good, I'm afraid. But it certainly is vibrating on that. What you've been doing there. Let's see. Maybe as we gain insight, we can probably work out what this is actually really all about. We'll just pull out the next card, which represents the present, and the present influence there is, of course, based upon what's happening now, isn't it? And more. What's this? More swords here. In this particular case, of course, you've got the Five of Swords. So it's in sort of going down in numbers. The Five of Swords, of course, 5 is related to loss. Of course, remember, any number between 4 and 9, so it's the watery part of air again, mental and moral qualities of creative and transmissive powers, isn't it? And in this particular case, of course, the Five of Swords is 5 is loss. Crowley refers to what does Crowley refer to the Five of Swords as? Do you know, my brain has gone dead, but don't panic. 5 is loss of creativity, loss of communication. I suppose you could refer to it really more as a communication breakdown, couldn't you? In that sense, when you view it like that. But of course, with it being swords and it being mental and moral qualities of creative and transmissive powers, on both the recent past and the present, indicating, of course, that this analysis, this trying to navigate or seek a way through this, has led in loss of communication. You've lost contact, as you would say, to coin a phrase, as you could view it as. I want to see what the immediate future is, what potentially is around the corner, if positive, of course, beware of complacency. If negative, it can nevertheless be positive. So beware of complacency. In the sense of forewarned as forearmed. More swords again. It seems as if we're going down the scale here, doesn't it? With this being in the state that it's in, the 4 of swords. So you basically got 5, 6, 5 and 4. The 4 of swords, of course, 4 is a square number, isn't it? And Crowley refers to the 4 of swords as the Lord of Truce. The Lord of Truce, as if coming to some peacemaking and all that sort of thing, coming to some agreement. You may agree to disagree in this relationship situation, but there's been a loss of contact here right now, and it's going to literally lead to this truce, in the sense that you'll call time on it, or I suppose it's blessed are the peacemakers, isn't it, really, to some degree. In that sense, but of course, this lack of communication, this loss of communication that is taking place right now is I suppose it's hindering situations. It's hindering it's hindering, isn't it? It's just creating a bit of a barrier or a blockage or whatever you want to refer to it as. With that, I think there's not really much more to say, really. Only to, I suppose, wish you well, really, and if. Why am I sort of sensing this trying to get back with somebody? With the truce, trying to get back with the person you've lost contact with. You tried. I don't know if you failed, succeeded, I don't know what you did, but from trying to losing contact, in normally the case where you lose contact and then try and persevere, but in this case it's gone the other way, hasn't it? So you were trying, but you lost contact. Did you fail? May not be the case. That may not be the case in the sense of you will call a truce, or so. Maybe he will call a truce. I don't know. I'm sort of getting it. Maybe both. Maybe both of you will call a truce. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But it depends, I suppose. Axes are axes for a reason. That's, of course, assuming that he is really your axe. But because sometimes some time apart can help to reassess the situation, literally, in that sense. It's to help you navigate through it, to get through the whatever it is that's going on. Can't it? And I suppose that in itself can help, really. And let's hope that it does, maybe, in this particular case. I don't know about a misunderstanding or anything like that, but certainly there's been a loss of contact. And maybe that's what it is. Lack of communication is usually the cause of a lot of problems anyway. So to square things out, literally, and then in the number 4, as you would say, to square things out, would literally do that, wouldn't it? It would help. But for now, I think, just for now, for you, we will cast a shadow, as these cards have now spoken.